Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Now today's video is going to be more of a sit down because yeah, girl, this video is really going to be, you know, my advice to you for those of you who are either entering college, currently in college, or have finished college and are thinking about torturing yourself even more with graduate school. Because yeah, that's what I did. In this channel, I've talked about my struggles with school and why it's been such a pain in the ass. And I wanted to share some of my experience with you to see if maybe it's helpful in any way. Now, I want you to know that when I started college, I wasn't the best student. However, I did pick up a few things here and there as to why that might have been, what I could have done better, and I'm here to share that with you. Now, if you want to see more videos like this, please comment down below. Like Frank, tell me more about like college and all of that. And yeah, like I'd be glad to make more videos like this. I'm kind of making videos on whatever I, think of. So yeah, let me know if this is helpful. With that being said, let's get right into it. Now, for those of you who are entering college right now, there are a few things you need to really, really know. And you probably heard these things multiple times, but I need to reiterate them because they are very important. College is not high school. College is such a different environment from high school. You are not going to adjust well if you go into college thinking like this is just going to be like high school. Now, there are a lot of things that might be similar to high school in terms of just class structure and maybe just the things you are learning, because I know in high school some of you can take APs. I know I did. And APs honestly for me weren't the most helpful in terms of giving me a sense of like what college course work is like, but I know APs at some other schools might be better at kind of communicating that. So yeah, but just realize that college is not a walk in the park in terms of coursework, in terms of just the environment you're in. Now, a lot of times in college, especially in introductory courses, you are going to be in a lecture hall. You're probably going to be in a room with like thousands of other people. Maybe not that much. That was the case in my school though. Yeah, where I went, there were thousands of people in one room. So like, yeah. But yeah, it's not going to be the same 30-person max classroom that you might be used to. There are lecture halls, and the professor is not going to give a crap about whether or not you are learning or not. That is the other thing. College is very, very, very real. Because the teachers in high school that you are used to um, letting you know, hey, you're missing an assignment. In college, they do not care. Sister, you are paying for them to not care. You need to be on top of everything. And that is why you get the syllabus at first. Always make sure to refer to the syllabus. The syllabus is your number one best friend when it comes to what's coming up next in your class, when it comes to what you need to be reading. Always make sure, like, at least in my school, my syllabi always came with a summary of the learning goals, summary of like the content you will be talking about in the class. Please make sure to thoroughly read the entire syllabus. I can't stress enough how important it is for you to know what's on the syllabus, because you cannot go to your professor and be like, are we having an assignment like next week? They're going to tell you, look at the syllabus, girl, because it's all in there. So the syllabus is your best friend. High school, I never got a syllabus. I maybe got a course outline, but sometimes it's not the same thing. The syllabus is truly, from start to end, what you're going to be doing in the course. So always make sure to refer back to the syllabus. That was a mistake I made where I was like, oh, I don't know what I need to do. And like, sometimes I would miss an assignment. No, like you got to stay on top of the syllabus. So make sure you have that like scanned somewhere. Like it's always usually digital now. So like just have it like, ready in like your drive or print it out for sure, just so you have it like in person if that's, a better format for you. Now, when you start class, things are going to get overwhelming. There is not going to be an orientation, or at least when after you do your actual orientation to like the college that you're attending, when you start classes, There is no like hello, hi, how are you? No, they get straight into the course materials. Some professors might be more lenient than others, but in my experience, because when I started school as a pre-med student. So I was taking chemistry, I was taking calculus. These folks do not play. They do not care who you are. They're just here to teach another semester. And yeah. Now, let me take that back a bit, because no, your professors do care. That is the number one misconception that I guess I'm perpetuating, because this was just my experience, but this isn't always everyone's experience. Your professor is there to help you. Yes, it might not seem like it because they're very hands off, but they are there to help you. And the best time for you to go get their help is through office hours. Now, office hours are a specifically set time by your professor that are also found on the syllabus. So make sure, again, have that syllabus ready to go. They'll let you know where you can find them and when you can find them to ask any questions about the course. Now, please, I can't stress this enough. Go to office hours, even if it's just to say hi. Like, literally, that's when you can say hi, hello, because they're not teaching, but they're giving you that time so that you can go up there and ask questions about the course. It could be, once you start doing a deeper dive into the content, you know, that's when you can ask questions about the content. But use that time to get to know your professors, because number one, they are there to help you. They are, they know what they're teaching. They wouldn't be there if they didn't. Like, so please make sure to go to your office hours. Don't be scared of going. I was scared of going, and that really did not help me at all, to get a good grade in the courses I took. So make sure to start going to office hours as soon as you can. Don't be scared of it. The professors are not there to hurt you. They're really there to help. That's why they're providing that time. So please, I strongly emphasize you to go. And don't go just when an exam is coming up, because when I've done that, literally everyone else's mindset is the same. It's the same thing. Everyone just thinks alike, and they're going to go like the week before the exam to do like a review. And like there's like 50, 60 people in one room, and you can't get that one-on-one time with your professor and like have them explain things to you in a more, you know accessible way for you. And so yeah, please make sure, go to your professor as soon as you can during office hours. And yeah, it's really gonna help, especially if you struggle with the course material. They're there to help. So yeah, also make sure to go to tutoring. I think most, if not all, colleges have a tutoring center. I went to the tutoring center a few times, but I never went consistently. I would say if you're having a lot of trouble with the coursework, please do not feel ashamed to go consistently. Those people are students who have either taken the course or are currently taking the course. I think at my school, they took the course and they did really well on it. So they know what they're talking about. Definitely go to them, get that tutoring. Girl, do not be ashamed, because your grades will pay off and you'll understand what you're learning, and maybe you can give back to other students. And that is literally the best thing, like when you are able to give back to your fellow students and actually help them if they're struggling. But I went over the syllabus, I went over office hours, and tutoring are very important things if you are struggling as a student. Now, if you are doing really well, I still encourage those things. I still think that, nobody is too good for office hours. Nobody is too good for tutoring. Because you just never know. Like, if you are really that smart, you will probably still take advantage of those things, because we all make mistakes. Nobody's gonna get 100 on the exams. Or at least, and if you do, that's amazing, perfect. But the grand majority do not get a perfect score on these exams. And that's something else you need to be mindful of. When you are taking, especially like courses like biology, chemistry, a lot of people don't do well. And a big reason why they don't do well is because it's not always because they didn't study, but yeah, it's a big reason why they didn't study well. Um, but the coursework can just be that hard, and it's important for you to just realize, okay, I need to do something about this grade, and I need to, like, start going to office hours, start getting tutoring. But do not be surprised if you go from being an A+ student, getting 100 on all your high school exams, to not doing so well in college, especially if you're taking like those life science courses and going into pre-med and all of, and pre-med is my experience. I'm sure there are other courses and majors and things like that that might be more difficult. But yeah, so just be mindful that, again, your GPA, for the most part, might not remain the same as it was in high school. And if it does for you, amazing, congrats. I'm definitely not jealous of you because, girl, how do y'all do it? Anyway, that reminds me, now that I mentioned majors, what are majors and minors? Well, I'm pretty sure you might have heard of them already, but just to recap, majors are your desired, field of study. That's what you want to get your degree in. I got my degree, which is back there, in psychology, specifically cognitive psychology. And I went from doing pre med, which is not a major. Pre med, at least at most schools, at least in my school, was a track. It was considered a set of courses I needed to take to uh, basically fulfill the requirements or prerequisites to apply to medical school. That is why it's called pre med. It's what you need before medical school. Now, pre med is not a major per se. You could declare a major in whatever field you want. You don't have to necessarily go into biology or chemistry for medical school. You could literally go into art. You could go into like any kind of major for pre med. And same thing with pre law, and I forgot the other pre tracks. But yeah, from what I was told, pre med is not a major, so you need to pick a major. And now, picking a major is always going to be hard. I don't expect every single person to know what they are going to, you know, study. Uh, when I graduated high school, I was still unsure if medical school was for me, and thank goodness I got, I learned the hard way, but I learned that it wasn't for me, and that's why I declared my major in psychology during my, I believe, either second semester of my first year or the first semester of my second year. If that doesn't make sense, it's okay. The point is, I declared it pretty early on in my just college journey, but I would recommend you knowing. I would say, going in undecided, your first semester, start exploring what kind of, like, fields or just careers you want for yourself. If you want to do grad school, also being mindful of that too. You want to declare a major in an area of study that will pay off if you have to go to, like, your master's, or do graduate school or whatever. So yeah, I would highly recommend that you pick that as soon as you can. It's okay if you're going in undecided. There will be tons of resources at your school and online to help you pick what your major is. I don't know any off the top of my head, but I know for me, the reason why I went to psychology is because general psychology was one of my introductory courses for my pre-med track. So I took that my first semester, and I ended up liking it and doing pretty well on it. So I was like, this med thing is not going to work out for me. I'm glad I realized early on because, girl, yeah, it wouldn't have worked out for me. I probably would have stayed like another semester if I didn't like declare my major by that point. Because, again, it's important to declare your major early on because your major has specific requirements aside from all the other requirements that you need for, just in general. Your major will require you to take certain courses that will fulfill the requirements of that, area of study. And that could be anywhere from, like, I don't know, like 5, 6, 7, up to maybe 10 courses that you specifically need to take. Oh, hi, Presley. So yeah, that's why it's important to clear your major ASAP. But again, don't stress too much your first semester if you're not sure. There will be plenty of time, then and then the next semester to finally figure out, like, yeah, like this is what I need to do. And I think a lot of major courses, depending on the major, I think for me, psych was not too bad. But depending on your major, you might be able to knock everything out in those last 3 years you have, assuming you're going to a 4 year school. If you go to a two-year school, I think the timeline is different there, but still have that leeway of like figuring out, like, yeah, this is what I need to do. Don't lock into something you don't want to do, because then that's more of a waste of time and money that you could be spending on something like that will help, will be something you want to do. So yeah, declare your major. You can also do a minor. Minors are interesting. I did a minor in public health, and the minor essentially is just the major, but like cut in like a third. You don't have to do as many class courses. I think your major is, I said 10 earlier. I probably meant to say like at least 10 courses that specifically are for your major, and then your minor is probably like three or four. Um, and yeah, the minor is just another thing you can add on to your degree if you are, let's say, if you have more time or you need like the credits to reach your required number of credits. For me, like for example, um, at my school, we needed to get 120 credits in total to graduate. I think there's the core requirements, which I actually want to talk about a little bit. The core requirements are things like, think of it in like high school terms of like, oh yeah, I need to take English, I need to take a math, I need to take a science. Those core courses are just, again, general courses that you are required to take. You do have options though. At least at my school, we had options. I didn't have to take biology. I didn't have to take chemistry. It just so happened that because I was pre med at the time, I was on track to take those courses, so I did, and those fulfilled my requirements. So, you might have options. You might not have to take those courses. Like I didn't have to take physics at all. I didn't take organic chemistry because I was no longer pre med. So that's the other thing. Like, just being mindful of like that you have a choice, that you will prepare your own schedule most of the time. You will have help from advisors. You will have help from maybe other peers and people like that, other people in your life who might know this stuff. I unfortunately did not have that luxury. I am a first gen college graduate, so I don't have adults in my life who have gone through this, at least not those who live like with me. So yeah, like you need to like just use the resources you have, and that advisors are there to help you to. It could be a pain in the ass to like get in contact with them, but just try your best because you are there for you. You need to really put in that effort because you do not want to be left behind. If you do not talk to your advisor sometimes, your advisor um, might be the person you need to like let you enroll into a course. And only they have the power and authority to essentially unlock the course for you or enroll you in a course or remove you from a course. So you have to really go to your advisor because there are some things you just cannot do yourself. The majority of things you'll probably do yourself, but there are some things that you just need to go to the advisor for. So I highly advise you, get it, to go and talk to your advisor. Again, not waiting till the last minute, not waiting until the registration dates are like the next week, because girl, you are not going to get that appointment. That is just the truth. Like, trust me, like I've been there, done that. Like, it's just like, call me Pitbull, because yeah. So again, a lot of times you'll feel like you are on your own, but remember, you have people there who will work with you to enroll in these courses, to be able to know like what you're, if you're on track, if you are able to just yeah, like thrive in college. They're there to help you, so please take advantage of those resources. Now, I will share a little bit about like my personal journey, and I'll tie it back to some things I wanted to share about just just the experience in general. Now, my college wasn't a traditional like oh yeah, we have a lawn, we have a nice park in the front, like we can like a campus. Like we didn't have a campus, or at least we had a campus, but it was literally like three buildings connected by a sky bridge or two. That, girl, that is not a campus. That is literally just buildings. But one thing I can't stress enough is that in college, do not be afraid to talk to people. It can seem like certain times like you know, people are keeping to their own, especially here in New York City where I went to school. A lot of people are very individualistic, but do not let that stop you from meeting new people, because the people that you meet there can be your friends for the rest of your life. And again, I think this is just a very like common, just again, thing in general, but like I college especially is where you meet other adults. High school, you might have met like the bullies, you might have met the cliques, you might have met all these other people, girl. No, college, a lot of times that's when you meet adults, and that's where you should be meeting adults, because we can, girl, unless you're a gifted kid, you do not belong in college acting like a child. Like, no. So it's important to realize, yeah, that you should just, again, try your best to talk to people, get to know them. My two best friends now, I literally met in my first year of school. So, and like, you know, one of them literally came up to me and just started chatting, and like that was, the rest is history. So, you know, please, like, I'm sure everyone else during the first year is as nervous as you. They probably had to leave their friends behind in high school. You know, they probably don't want to be there. If you can relate to them on those levels, like, you know, chat it up, like get to know them. Don't be afraid to like go to the lunchroom and sit. You know, there aren't traditional lunchrooms like, you know, high school, but like, you know, you're all working professionals now. You're all in charge of your own academic journey. But that doesn't mean that you can't get help, you can't get, you know, to know other people who, you know, to be on that journey with. So like definitely make friends, definitely join clubs. That was something I wish I did more of, is joining clubs. Um look for them. There might be club fairs, there might be just flyers being passed around or hung up. Like, make sure to like talk to those clubs. Don't be shy, girl. Just join the clubs, and there will be people who are struggling in calculus with you as well, or like thriving in their psych course, or, you know, complaining about their you know, required music course. um I miss music. I did so well in it. But yeah, yeah, like seriously, go meet people. I met so many people in college, and you know, I have my best friends. But the other people that I met, they were so amazing. I hope you're doing really well. And yeah, like connections too. Like, you know, we're not all in the same field, but connections matter. Yeah, that's important in the long run, because you might end up working with these folks in the future if you go into the same fields, or cross paths with them one day, like out in public, and like you have that connection if it's like a social event or something. Like, you know, yeah, like just get to know as many people as you want. Now, partying is something I wish I did more of, just in my college days, but I was trying to like, again, stay afloat. I wasn't necessarily the best student, so I wasn't, you know, down to party like here and there. But if you feel like you have the opportunity to go out and party, definitely live it up. These are your early 20s. Do not let school completely bog you down. Yes, you might be struggling, but you deserve to have fun too. You shouldn't feel ashamed of, you know, oh yeah, like this other person is doing so much better than me. And like, comparison is the thief of joy. That is such a common phrase that I can't stress enough. Do not compare yourself to people. It is so easy to compare yourself to people, but that is why it's important to, you know, build a community of friends who are there to support you, build a community of, you know, just people in your life who are there to uplift you and motivate you. And the most important person you have to talk to and like tell, like, I can do this, is yourself. You have yourself, and that is pretty much it in a lot of situations in nearly your entire life. Just, again, trust yourself, trust your instinct, do your best, tell yourself that you can do it, because yes, it's hard, but it's not impossible. Because I got that, so it's not impossible, honey. You see, if I could do it, you can do it too, and you could probably do it so much better. So please, 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 just again remember the things I taught you in this video, girl. Oh my god, this video is almost 30 minutes. I need to cut it down, honey. Again, number one, remember the syllabus. It's there to help you. Make a copy of it, like memorize it, like know what to do. Like you're gonna get a syllabus for each course. So make sure that you have that, open. Do not forget, because you cannot be asking questions about what's on the syllabus, because if it's there, it's there. If it's not there, then you can ask a question. But yeah, go to office hours and tutoring, even if you're not struggling. It's important to get to know your professor. It's important to get to know the people that might be able to help you down the line. And yeah, like just again, building more connections, building networks. They could write you a recommendation letter down the line. You never know. So start those connections, and yeah, it'll help you in the long run, both academically and just professionally. Try to make friends, be social. Don't stop yourself from actually going out there and putting yourself out there. That's just a logical thing to say, but just sometimes we forget. I forget sometimes. So just put yourself out there. And last but not least, try to have fun. College is not the end of the world if you fail. I know it's hard, but you got this. You got this. Like, remember, choose your major ASAP. Don't worry if you don't know what you're going to do your first year. You'll have some time there to decide, do your research, and yeah, you'll find something good. If you want me to share a little more about my journey and just how I got to, this point of my life, I got my grad school degree. I have a job. I have a great network, I would say. Let me know if you want to see more of this. This is a very, very like different video from everything else, but like I'm happy to talk about these things. This is literally why I made YouTube, just to talk and share my experiences. So please let me know if this is of interest. And yeah, like, subscribe, comment down below. Please, yeah, just interact because I appreciate it. Thank you all so much and have a great rest of your day.